This is just thoughts. These are a talk I'd like to give on the idea of being an outcast. It's taken from a sutta from the Sutta Nipata called The Outcast. And I thought I would begin with just kind of reflection about an outcast. Who is an outcast? Are you a member of the first peoples living in America? Are you a black person living in America? Are you a Latino living in America? Are you queer living in a straight world? Are you transgender living in a cis world? Are you a Muslim or a Dalit living in India or Nepal or Burma? Are you a Jew living anytime in history? Are you shy, living in a world of extroverts? A child living in a world of adults? A disabled person living in the world of the abled? An unhoused person living in the world of the housed? It seems as though all of us at some time in our lives have felt as though we were an outcast, as though we weren't part of the greater world. Are you a depressive living in a world of people who think you should just get over it? Are you a manic person living in a world of people who want to pull you down from your pinnacle of energetic, excited feelings of grandeur? Or are you a person with mental illness in a world of people who assume they enjoy mental health? Are you an outcast? Have you ever felt as though you were an outcast? Well, the Buddha teaches us in this little sutta, a little verse from the early transcriptions of the teachings, some of the earlier teachings, the pre-doctrinal verses, where there's no profundity about Four Noble Truths necessarily, or foundations of mindfulness, or any of the more seminal teachings of the later canon. It's a verse about a humble ascetic going on an alms round. And it's short enough that I could read it. And if I could find it, but I'm not going to look for it right now. But I could summarize it. The Buddha gets up in the morning. Or he's not called the Buddha in this. He's just the noble one or beloved one. I mean, again, this is before the Buddha was lionized. Early, more humble beginnings. Not sure if it was from the time when he was an unenlightened bodhisattva or later, but you know, people who study these things suggest that it's an earlier Buddha. Anyway, he gets dressed, dons his robes, and goes on his alms round. And on his alms round, he comes near the house of a Brahmin. In India, the Brahmins were the highest caste. They were the ones who were the supposed spiritual leaders of the time, the ones who had the connection with the Brahma, the god of all things. Anyways, the Buddha was walking towards this Brahmin's house. The Brahmin sees him coming and he yells, "Hey you, one with a shaved head, the shaveling," he calls them. "You robed ascetic, you outcast. What have you got to say for yourself?" And the humble ascetic, Gautama Buddha, says, "Well, I can teach you about who is an outcast." And the Brahmin says, "Oh, please do. Teach me, oh humble one." I love the drama of the Dhamma. Yeah. And then the Buddha says, in a sense, so many words, "Well, Brahmin, an outcast is a person who judges others. An outcast is a person who mistreats others. An outcast is a person who doesn't live the holy life. An outcast is someone who doesn't practice mindfulness and concentration and sila, ethical practices. An outcast is not an outcast by birth. An outcast is an outcast by what they do." And Brahman. A Brahmin is not a Brahmin by birth. You don't inherit these wholesome qualities. You were born into the class of Brahman, but you aren't a Brahmin. A Brahmin is a person who's kind, who practices sila, who doesn't take from others. It's things that aren't freely offered. Who practices wisdom and meditation and contemplation. that Brahman is a Brahman. And the teaching is, one of the, that's so far as I know, somebody could tell me of other teachings, but it's the classic teaching on the Buddha's concept of class and caste. He in fact was truly against the stream, truly radical, in that he didn't see caste as having any relevancy. And then that's just kind of what I'm thinking about.